amount of time, this is what we pulled up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What is happening, everyone? Joey Antonelli here, and we got another surf fishing video for you, specializing in pompano this time. But this time we're going to do something a little different. Before we go ahead and get right into the action on the beach, I'm going to go over kind of like a question and answer sort of thing. Something I've been seeing in a lot of the comments that they're just really hard to keep up with on YouTube. But I'm going to go over the most common questions and kind of a little bit of a tutorial of how I go pompano fishing. And again, I'm not claiming by any means to be the best pompano fishing out there, but I've been doing it for a little while. I've talked to a lot of really good people that have kind of helped me out along the way. And I'm going to show you the stuff I use and different ways you can kind of improve what you're doing, especially if you're newer to it. So first off, we're going to go over all the tackle I use for pompano fishing, because that is a big part. Now, I personally tie most of my own rigs because I go through so many of them. Now, for the average person out there just recreationally fishing with a couple rods, if you find the pre-made rigs like that you can buy at a tackle store, there are some really, really good ones out there. The couple I have out in front of me right now are made by a guy who I'm pretty sure has been pompano fishing for around 400 years, named Pompano Rich. He's got a few different style rigs. I know they got him up at Strike Zone. You can see his rigs right here. And then also the stuff I use to make my own. Now, I personally like to tie rigs. I go through a lot of them. So in this video, once I'm talking, I'm going to show you the time it takes me to tie a rig. And that's without a jig. There's a template you can use with some wood where you can kind of tie them and makes them all really consistent, really good. But I'm just kind of winging it, going the way I do it. So I use 3 hooks. Most pompano rigs you buy in the store are going to come with 2 hooks, which I think is good. I think you should use 2 hooks unless you're commercial pompano fishing. If for no other reason, it's going to save you on bait. I mean, typically you're not catching doubles or triples. It's typically 1 fish per rig is the way it goes. A double or a triple is an awesome bonus. And I think that's why most of the rigs in the stores come with 2 hooks instead of 3. It cuts the price down on, and it lets you save on bait, especially with how rare sand fleas are now. You used to be able to go out any day, catch a ton of sand fleas. Now you probably are going to have to buy them at the bait shops. There's a couple people that are able to find them still, driving real far and looking all over for them. But I would suggest, especially in the Melbourne area, Black Dog and Whitey's are going to be your 2 most consistent bait shops for live sand fleas. Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to start my rig. I use 30-pound fluorocarbon. These are the little 1/0 perfect circle SaltX hooks, and then a mixture of just beads and floats that I've accumulated over the years, and it's just stuff I have. I like them when I see them, I buy them. Some are from craft stores, some are from tackle stores, some are from random finds from garage sales. But we're going to go ahead, pull out a bunch of fluorocarbon because you use a lot of line doing this. Again, another reason why you might want to check out the rigs. Now, people always ask me, what beach are you at? How do you find the fish? Pompano are really, really fast fish. They don't like to sit in one spot. They follow temperature changes. So when you find that right water, I kind of really like that like 70-degree water or something like that. If you can stick in that, maybe like 68 to 72-degree water and a nice pompano looking water, which is like that clearer or bluer or greener color water, try to shy away from the brown, real sandy water. They don't tend to like that too much. That's how you find them. It takes a lot of driving around, a lot of networking, but once you're on the fish, you can usually pattern them, stay on them. I like, as far as tides go, an incoming tide, higher tide, usually a little better. And then look at the beach. So if it's you see a couple sandbars and in between the sandbars looks like a deep spot, that's probably where I would go, right on the edge of the sandbars, or if there's a point on the beach, out on that point. That's definitely some areas they like to stick around. So the rig I'm making right now, it's a 3-hook dropper rig. You look up the knot, it's just how to tie a dropper rig. I'm not going over knot tying tutorials. I will say the top knot I use to tie the swivel on is a uni. And then the bottom knot, I actually don't know what it's called. I think it's just called a fisherman's knot. It's real easy, real fast. That's what I've always tied as a kid growing up. I tied that on the bottom because it's weaker than the uni. And if I do get hung up on fishing an area that has rocks, if I get hung up, typically this knot will break. And I'll lose the lead, which is probably the most expensive part of the rig. But you get most of the rig back. So I got my 3 dropper loops tied. I go ahead and cut these loops because I just like to, and that's the way I like to do it. So my top hook, and I have a theory behind this, my top hook gets a float, the biggest float I'm using. And I go ahead and put that float on there and then tie a hook on. And then the next hook gets a small or medium sized float, and then the bottom hook it gets no float. So I try to cover all 3, which you'll see on Pompano Rich's rigs too. His top hook has that bigger float, and he's using the same floats, or I should say I'm using the same floats as him, because I've got a feeling he's been doing it slightly longer. That top float has a bigger one, and then the next one's more of a little pill float, a little smaller. So there's one hook. What other questions we get? I mean, that big one is just what beach are you at? And I feel bad ignoring those questions, but I catch enough lash back as it is for fishing certain places online, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, the fish are moving. So find the fish by driving around, build your own network of people. I mean, the internet can be good. I forgot to put a float on there because I'm talking. You got me all distracted here in the YouTube world. So this will be just a 1 float rig. Basically, build your own network. You can go online, you can research, you can look at reports, you can follow weather patterns. That's a huge thing. Actually, I won't even talk badly about that. That's huge. Follow weather patterns, look at the winds, look at the tides, look at the moon, look at the water temps. But a lot of people get hung up on talking about it, watching videos like this, talking to other people, buying all the gear, doing all the research, and that does help. I'm not saying don't do that. Be right back. But nothing is ever going to make up for just time on the water. So that's my rig. You saw how long it took me to do that? I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes or so. I then take the rigs, I wrap them up around my hand, and then I have a bunch of these little clear baggies, and I pop them in there. Again, I'm showing you the whole thing, not editing it, so you can see how long of a process it is. It definitely takes some time, and after buying, I don't know, a $25 spool of fluorocarbon, a $20 pack of hooks, a bunch of floats, I mean, you spend the money on it. And then I put all mine in a little surf fishing pouch. So you can tie them if you want. I would say if you are just going out and fishing once a week with a couple rods, couple friends, try out some rigs like this. They're awesome rigs. Now, bait can be a tough one right now because sand fleas have been scarce. I used to sell the sand fleas, and I would just sell the frozen ones if I had extras and the bait shops didn't have them. I never want to take away from the business of the local bait shops. They're there and that's their job. I just do it to kind of help out some locals and some friends if I have extra. I do not have them. So the people that have been asking me every single day, I get messages, where are the sand fleas, or can you sell me some sand fleas? First off, I don't sell live sand fleas. I've sold frozen ones if I have a surplus, which I definitely do not have right now. I have a couple friends that have been giving me some live fleas from time to time, and I have some frozen ones, and that's what I'm using. I'm using sand fleas. So if you can't find sand fleas, Pompano eat a lot of other things. They eat shrimp, they eat clams. I know people that use fiddler crabs, and something you can always have is the fish gum. I do use fish gum a lot. I tend to cut it. I'll actually open one up and show you the size I use. So it comes in a couple different things right now. These are the strips that you've seen me using for a long time, and then recently they came out with these cut and chunk little sheets sort of things. You just cut whatever size you want. I still like to use bait with fish gum. I would still go without it. I mean, if all I had was fish gum and I wanted to go out try to catch a couple fish, because there's a big difference going out and trying to catch 30 or 40 pompano to sell or catch 2 or 3 for dinner. You can definitely go get some fish on just fish gum. So I cut pieces about that big. So there it is on my thumbnail, about the size of your thumbnail. And I put that on my hook with the whatever bait I'm using, whether it's sand fleas, clams, shrimp, fiddler crabs, anything. it works really good. It comes in a bunch of different colors. I've had good results on all of them. And you guys know I don't sell stuff that I don't fully believe in. Now, I'm not literally selling it. You can't buy it from me. But I don't endorse stuff I wouldn't buy. And the fish gum, the guy behind that, his name's Tony. I'll tell you a quick little story about him because that's apparently what this video is. It's story time and fishing. Tony sent me a Ziploc bag. Nothing fancy and pretty like this. He sent me a Ziploc bag of fish gum probably 6 years ago or so now. And I had no idea he ever had intention to sell it. I thought he was like, hey dude, try out this bait I made and let me know what you think. And I thought it was just for him personally. He was making it at his house, which he might still do, I don't even know. But he sent me this bag with all these different things. And this was like 6 years ago. Fish gum, I think, has only been out maybe for sale for like 3, and it could have been even more. It could have been closer to 10 years ago. I don't really remember. But he put a lot of time in this stuff before he came out with it. Is it better than fish bites? I mean, I'll tell you straight up, and I know he'll back me on this. One's not better than the other. They're different. That's like saying, is Yozuri better than, I don't know, Rapala or something? They both make really good products that are good for certain things at certain times. One day you might crush it on the fish gum and have horrible luck with the fish bites, where on another day, for whatever reason, the fish will be keyed in more on the fish bites than the fish gum. I mean, I would say get both. I mean, I like Tony. I support his brand. He supports my channel. I definitely have an alliance with fish gum. You won't see me fishing fish bites unless I absolutely can't catch fish on something else. And that's more of a personal thing because I like Tony so much and I like to support him as a brand. But I will say, get both. Try the fish gum out. Use it. It's awesome stuff. You won't be sorry. Works great for the pompano. Works great for whiting. I think I've touched on all the questions I get. Current, actually, we'll do current as far as what leads I use. I don't use Spudniks too much because I typically fish on days when the current's not too bad. If the current was ripping, a Spudnik is the way to go. And what a Spudnik is, that's these weird looking spider weights. This is actually one of Rich's weights also. Pompano Rich that makes these rigs. So this is set. I say this lead is set. The Spudnik is set. And what that means, you cast it out, it's going to hit the sand, it's going to dig into the sand like a boat anchor does. Now, when you get a fish or when you start reeling it in, it's going to pop. These things will then hang down. Now you have a lead that's going to come up to the surface. So in heavy current, it's going to hold, and also in rocky areas where you're throwing past a reef, it will hold. And then when you reel it in, it'll come more up to the surface than a pyramid would. Now, incredible holding strength. Pyramid also holds really well, not as well as that. But when you reel a pyramid sinker in, it almost acts like a planer. It's not going to come up to the surface. It's going to dig down. You're going to bounce that bottom the whole way in unless you're able to reel really, really fast. So pyramids, it's a cheaper route. They don't anchor as well, and they dive down as you're reeling them in. So they both got their advantages. One's a little cheaper, one's a little fancier and holds a little better. I think that's going to be about it. One more. I know I said that before. A lot of my pompano videos, I'm commercial pompano fishing, and you see people with me. Now, the way the rules are on that, a lot of times the people fishing with me do not have commercial fishing licenses, so they can't catch more than 6 fish. And just like snook fishing when we're down at the jetty, I can't catch a snook for myself and then catch one and give it to you. We hand the rods off. So the way the rules are written, someone has to take part in helping catch that fish. So if in this video I'm fishing with Logan, if Logan's reeling the fish in and I'm down there and I help grab the line and pull it in at the end, I helped. As far as that's me helping land the fish. So that's my fish. This part's just kind of me covering my butt for fishing with people while I'm making commercial fishing videos. Anyways, let's get into the action. Start fishing now. Hope you guys got some questions answered, and we will catch some pompanos.
Typical surf fishing day. Got everything set up. Had a little flurry. The most important thing for me is, oh, fish on in the intro. Oh, who's this guy? This guy just came out of nowhere. We got some random dude on the beach grabbing my rods. Do you guys remember this guy? He's back out.
Little loose drag.
Logan coming in clutch on the pompano bite. So we're getting ready to film the intro. I'm keeping an eye on the other rods. We got a 5 rod spread going out. My Tsunami Airwave Shield combos. I'll show you them in a little bit later.
Pulling drag, Joe.
Is he? Don't let him get you in there. Don't let him get you in the bottom. But we're pompano fishing. And Logan came out today. This does not happen often, so you guys are in for a treat. I got a feeling we're gonna get some pompano. Probably because we're already getting some pompano. But, ooh, shoes on the beach too. Look at that.
You can tell you.
Rocking the Adidas. He forgot how to go to the beach. All right, he's working him in on the wave. Nice and easy. Nice little 12-inch pompano. That's gonna be a keeper there. That's gonna be a keeper there. That's what we're talking about. Hold him up, Logan.
Little fatty. Pump a ski.
Oh yeah, Logan could not have done this without Suzuki. Nice one. There's the gold. Hit up Black Dog, hit up Whitey's. They got some fleas for you. That's what we're working with so far. I think we got like 6 now. Logan's got number 6 right here, going in the sand.
Almost in the bucket.
In the sand. All right, I'm gonna go get bait on that rod. Pop the action hat on my head. As you ask from time to time how I film my videos.
It's been a rain.
A lot of times I use the action hat because I can just super easily film and really focus on my fishing. That flea's been chewed on a little bit, so. Oh no, we only have 2. We need 1 more flea. We got pomp fleas. Yeah, that wind just got, or that air just got cool. May have some rain coming, but that's gonna make the fish fire up. Sending her. Look at that crazy fog just rolled in. That's the real Logan just caught that fish on. It's the Tsunami Shield 6000 with the Tsunami Airwave. 12 foot, extra heavy. Really good for casting those heavy 3, 4, 5 ounce leads out there. Even 6, I'm not even sure what it's rated up to, but I usually use a 4. So that's got it out there. Now we got 5 rods out, waiting for another bite. There we go, fish on. Fish on, fish on. I got this one. I just happened to see it first and be closer to it, and that's the way this works, especially with 2 people. It's so helpful running these 5 rods. So I just kind of keep the rod tip up, steady reel. The fish usually swim in at you, and then once they get to the trough, they do that little crazy pompano shake, and that's where we're gonna kind of time the waves and play them out a little bit more. Oh, he's in that wave right there. Come on, buddy, get up. That's a heavy fish. Pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. Pulling in, pulling in. Nice pompano, nice pompano. Look at that pompano. Ate the middle hook, I think. Or no, the bottom hook, maybe. I don't know. He got a little tangled. We gotta go fast and get more baits out. I don't know how fast we're gonna be able to go on this guy. Oh god, that's scary. There we go. Really not tangled too bad. We got the fish off. Rebaiting with pocket fleas. Send it back out. There he is, he's on again. I'm keeping an eye on the other 4 rods. This is the furthest south. It makes it easy to watch the others. I see fish thrashing around in the bucket.
Oh, jumper.
Is he jumping?
Yeah. Oh.
Go easy with him in the trough. All right. This is a different rod. This is my tarpon setup.
Yeah, it feels like heavy.
I just decided to bust out a little bit of a different rod since I already had my 4 pompano rods and Logan was coming to help. Can't believe I got you out on the beach. Oh, no shoes too. Look at those white feet. Look at those. Nice and easy with a wave. There you go. He's got that white water so I can push it up. You get tagged by something?
What's going on?
Yeah, it looked like he might have got bit by something. Oh, we're on again. That one's coming in. Look at that fog rolling in and that swell. This feels like a heavier fish too. Come on, buddy. Going back up the beach. There we go, there we go. I see him right down there. Got this nice big wave coming. Maybe it'll help us out. One more wave. We got us a double pompano. One short, one good one. Logan's on down the beach. It's going. Look at this guy right here. That is an exotic and a half. That is a giant look down. I think we're at around 9 or 10 pomps. Absolutely beautiful fish. I forgot I was making a YouTube video today. Didn't have the camera on for this one. But he's just about in the trough now. I really only film about maybe a quarter of the days I fish. Ooh, big wave, big wave. That's what I want. Big wave, push him up. Nice pomp. Logan just got another one. Oh, that's a nice one. Solid pompano. Let's get baited up and get back out there. Very short amount of time. This is what we pulled up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a look down. Looking good. Of course, while I'm putting the fish in the cooler, Logan finds this guy. That's a 4-pounder. Look at that ham hock.
Oh! Oh!
I walk back and he's getting dominated by this guy in the trough. That's
I'm
a
still
stud.
getting dominated.
I'll let you handle that hook.
Oh my gosh.
That is a stud.
I've never felt a pompano this big.
Yeah, that's an 18-incher.
He got hooked underneath too. Good thing.
Yeah. Curiosity's got us on this guy. That's gonna be a 2-hander.
The cat came back the very next day.
Come on, I'll get him.
Right there?
You don't need to pinch it, just let it go. Hold it more towards 0. There you go. 17-incher. That's a stud. That's a 4-pound fish. Sweet. Logan's making the sprint. He's making the sprint. He's there. He's there. 5-pounder? 6-pounder? 8-pounder? Is this?
Feels like nothing, but he's probably running in.
Hopefully he's still there.
Yeah.
Still there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan's making a comeback. 2023 is gonna be his year. He's gonna go fishing 6 times.
February 2023.
Only in February.
I feel like I got another job.
Then he's retired again. Logan's currently looking for a job if you need a foot model.
Oh, I'm there for that.
He's got it.
Easy money.
He's got it covered.
Money talk, baby.
Oh, that's a keeper.
Money talk.
That is a keeper. Pompano. Now this is the way to do it. I get to sit here and Logan's doing some work. You're doing great, Logan. Doing just great. But this is how I'm pompano fishing right now. Been on my feet a lot for the last few days, chasing pompanos. Had some pretty good days too, but I haven't filmed lately, so. Today I decided to bust out the camera. I don't know if we're gonna film all of it, but show you some of it. It's pretty repetitive. We'll show you some highlights. We'll get some big ones. Logan just got another one right over there. So another, looks like another 12-incher. So lots of those cookie cutter schoolies, like the 12-inch pompanos. But that one big one we got is a good sign. I can say that this is the first pompano I've had, I mean if it's a pompano, in a while that was rip and drag. I'm sure it's gonna go nuts again, but it's kind of just coming in right now. That's a heavy fish though, that's a heavy fish. Thing is just so strong. Come on. Alright, you ain't as big as Logan's.
That's still a stud.
But that's a good one right there.
That is a stud.
That is a good pump. That is the golden nuggets we're after right there. That's about a 2.5 pounder or so. But nothing compared to Logan's stud. There you go. We're starting to get them now.